Oh, did we actually lose recording?
I have no idea.
So, is it Ray or Raymond? What do you prefer?
Uh-oh. He's in infinite loop now. He's stuck.
He prefers I have a girlfriend as his
How about Armand? Does Armand...
That makes me sound like some French Algerian piece of shit.
Can I call you?
It's almost as gay as a shield.
Okay, so Raymond has mentioned that we can actually use a bot to join our voice chat and it'll record the whole entire thing. And that way, I'm assuming if your computer died, the bot would still be here?
That's a great idea. Hey, Ray, you're now the engineer. Congratulations. Thanks for the commitment.
I thought, now I actually, have to live up to the name.
Yep, you're Engineer Ray. That's it. It's in your name. We're never calling you Solomon again. I'm so sorry.
Solomon?
Solomon
Grundy.
Solomon Grundy. I don't know. My computer seems to be working like fucking great now. I don't know what the fuck happened. Hi everyone, welcome back to ROFLcast. This might be the beginning of an episode. It could be the middle of an episode. We don't know. Because Engineer Ray doesn't have his shit together, you son of a bitch.
Thanks.
Have you tried turning it off and on?
You could work tech support in some foreign country.
That's quite literally what I have studied computer science for about 7.5 years. And now how I fixed my problem? I didn't. I turned it off and I turned it back on. Because I have no idea what the fuck to do. So,
I apply that to everything now.
Literally everything, though.
Like men?
Dogs?
No, it's too much work. Doggos?
Hitler propaganda?
No, you'll crash again. Don't do it.
What, Hitler propaganda?
Yeah, it's like how I tell my mom,
about
the
last
Jews
time?
run Hollywood and the banks.
And when really they were best when they were running into an oven.
They weren't really, they were being shoved in more.
You know what?
Like lemmings, like how lemmings push each other like in front of them, like that.
You know,
I need to figure out sounds that could represent my facial reactions when you guys say shit like that.
oh my
because
god,
it's
can you
hilarious
please
over
control a soundboard?
Yeah, like on shitty like morning radio.
Can we have a Kayla soundboard?
No, it has to be of lines from The Room. Your soundboard.
Yeah. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. You're tearing me apart, Raymond.
Thank
Never
you.
watched that movie until a month ago, so
Oh, really?
it's fresh in my brain, even though I was drunk.
We
the
talked
entire
about.
time.
Oh, you did a drunk review for it. Hey, did you watch it with people?
Myself. I should have watched it with people. It's gonna go up sometime this.
I told you, gotta watch it with people. Because,
stoned with people.
Yeah, no, totally. It makes it like a whole different experience. Tommy Wiseau said he's going to release a version of The Room that is 3D. It goes into the third dimension. Which dimension? Not the first, not the second, not the fourth, but the second.
So much moaning.
Does anyone actually want to see that? Him like trying to have sex with a belly button?
Dude, I want to see his
Also,
anus in fucking super HD.
Exact same scene. The exact same sex scene, just reusing it instead of shooting a new one. Anyone else notice that? Because I sure did.
Yeah, he reused it all the time. Actually, they did a really good podcast after The Disaster Artist came out on How Did This Get Made? And fans of How Did This Get Made would notice that the characters showed up in the movie itself, which is pretty cool. But yeah, they talked extensively about it. Actually, the guy who plays Mark was on the podcast as well and was explaining like how he became best friends with Tommy and like this whole journey that they went on. So it was a really good supplementary to people who've seen The Disaster Artist, which was really great, but wasn't as good as I thought it'd be. It was actually really sad. What was that?
I went to a preview screening for him and Tommy's next film, Best Friends.
Oh, how is
it? Really
it?
Good.
It's a documentary, right?
No, it's like it's based on a road trip they had, but it's not a documentary.
Well, that's weird. Does it looks funny?
And it's in 2 parts. That's a spoiler.
That is a spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
I'm gonna I was about to be like, hey, let's just treat this as an uncut because our flow's been choppy as I'm trying to get my shit set up. But you know what? We're making this a goddamn episode. This could be the beginning of an episode. It could be the end of it. Or should we just stop it here and then start it? And then if we do have the original content, then this will just be me saying the intro all over again.
How will you know if you have the original content?
I have to go back through the recording area and see if I can find it, but I can't listen to any of the files now because I'm talking to you guys. But it did freeze at 6 minutes. So maybe it has the first 6 minutes and nothing else. I don't know. But even if I play it now, my OBS will start recording it. So,
do we need to start a GoFundMe for you to get a new computer?
No. Dude, I have an MSI Ghost. Like, I have, like, the best... I got 1 terabyte SSD upgrade, 4K screen. Like, I have the best fucking laptop money can buy, and I don't know how to use it, apparently. I'm the only person that should. No, I'm going to be moving back to my desktop because I got Shaw Internet 150 now. So it's going to be a little bit easier.
Fancy.
Yeah, I want the fanciest internet.
Fans. Potato internet is best.
It sucks because like everyone talks about the ISPs in the States. The ISPs in Canada are just as shitty as like Comcast, Xfinity, and AT&T and all the other ones.
It's
I don't
just
know,
like because we have it's a cartel system here, so like we don't really get other options. It just is what it is.
We thought we keep out all the Mexicans.
Big ones buy the small ones, right?
Yeah. And like we ended up with these cartels, which is funny because we thought we keep out all the Mexicans by having very little yard work since most of it's buried under snow most of the year. But yet the cartels come here. First they're tacos and now they're cartels. It's ruining telecommunications.
Pew pew.
There you go. That is the perfect thing that you have. Just a random fucking soundboard. Okay, Engineer Ray, you have to look into getting her a soundboard.
Okay.
That is now your responsibility.
I thought we agreed to call me operator like in the Matrix, though, because that's cooler sounding.
Oh, yeah, I'm down with that, because in no way would that fashion back to the 1930s when we would call up women on the phone and say, operator, please connect me through.
Oh, is that what? Oh, shit.
Yeah, because they were dialing 0 and then asking for the operator. It's like a code.
Remember when you had to remember people's numbers?
Could you imagine that movie came out 3 years later and they had to use cell phones to change the whole fucking storyline? Trinity wouldn't be standing in a phone booth while getting hit by a fucking truck. There wouldn't be that suspenseful moment.
See, that's the thing. They did have cell phones in the film, but for some reason they couldn't use it to like get out of the Matrix. They had to have a hard line, was how they defined it. But they never explained why they needed a hard line.
So the Matrix stuff works all the way up until the point where modernization of like today happens. It's like, oh man, this is gonna be great getting in and out of here. But when the year 2004 hits, we're all fucked.
I would say that the Matrix shit works great until Reloaded. No, actually, until Revolutions, and then it all just goes down.
Well, that was the problem with the movie, was that it was one movie set, you know, that what was supposed to be one movie, and then they made it 2 movies because the studio was like, oh, we need 2 movies. They originally wanted a trilogy, but they wanted the second movie to be a prequel, and they're like, can't have a sequel prequel with none of the main actors in it, because that's not going to happen. So
We have gone on quite the tangent.
These are tangents. This is Uncut. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to the ROFLcast.
Now we're going to start the regular episode after this 8 minutes and 48 seconds of Uncut. If you guys have something, know what it was? That was a warm up. If you have any gross shit you want to get out now, we're running a professional podcast here, people. Get it out now. Say all the slurs and slanders you want.
So I've been doing a ketogenic diet.
Oh, we get it. You're gay.
Slur the word.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, right. We didn't record the thing where I found a porno.
So much meat.
I found a porno where a black dude was railing a chick, and he was like, you ready to be a single mother? And she said yes.
Wow.
And he was like, say the full thing. And she said, I'm ready to be a single mother. And then it ended.
Me too.
And I legally consent to be like, she's like, I need you to legally consent to this. I legally consent to being a single mother. I make girls say that while I'm having sex with them, just in case like the recordings of it ever come up in court. But it's never come in handy yet. But I might be sterile. So you're doing ketogenic. No one else is ketogenic. My semen. You can drink as much of my cum as you want.
Actually,
protein.
Lovely.
it's not. It's a ketogenic diet is low carb, moderate protein, and high fat. So unless your semen is nothing but fat, you have to limit the intake.
You know what's weird? My semen is 100% bacon fat, and I don't eat bacon. It is disgusting. It comes out like that. No, you know that.
How thick is this?
You know when you go to.
It's like, honey, I forgot to pick up oil or fat at the grocery store. Don't worry, I got this.
I got you covered.
When a girl wants to jerk me off, it's like squeezing out the last bit of frosting from one of those frosting bags where you go from the bottom, you like squeeze it up, and it's like oozing over the top and coming out the sides.
Gross.
What's wrong with it, guys? How's your coming experience different? Ray, we'll start with you.
Less semen.
Yeah, you think the round guy would be more explosive.
More sad.
Yeah.
More tears.
Aww.
Usually my own.
I don't so much as come as I cry out of my penis. My dick just starts weeping, hangs his head and weeps, and that's how you know I'm done.
Your dick gently weeps instead of a guitar.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. They call me
I'm
stick
gonna
guitar.
rewrite that song.
Semen drops on my guitar. It's
Okay, you have three choices.
Did we
You can
actually
call
lose
me.
the
I have
recording?
no idea. I won't be able to.
Wait.
I have a cool friend.
Did we actually lose
No.
I
the
have no idea. I won't be.
You can call me operator, machinist, architect, or field agent.
How about massive faggot?
I will accept that for now.
I'll allow it, but I do not like it.
MF. Take it, you bitch.
I'm gonna go with the architect.
I would go with the archetype of a weird autist.
That is also true, but still pick.
Architect is all.
Well,
Judging by the
I
way our
finished
conversations have gone every week, it was.
It's a lot to enunciate. Architect,
I
know,
think. I don't
engineer.
know what they call that, actually.
I realize you have a
similar. Operator, definitely because of Achilles' preference to thinking we're in the 30s.
Are you being Nazi or allegedly did? Which sucks because hey, I recovered the episode. We did it. This can just be the uncut. We can go back to where we were.
Did it. Reddit.
Oh my god, we should have our own subreddit.
Is there not a ROFLcast subreddit?
There should be. Okay, so
I'm sure somebody
do
already
you guys
made
like
it,
that new
and
graphic, or is it
no
too
affiliation with us?
Sorry,
Oh, fuck.
what were you saying? I talked over you.
Dude, there is no ROFLcast subreddit. You should probably make one.
I'm on
now.
it. What should we do for the backgrounds for the episodes? So you guys saw that little clip of me animating the voice to the fish.
Mm-hmm.
How about like if I can draw everybody, and but everyone would have to record individual audio tracks. That would be the biggest difference.
Yeah, you'd need them all separated.
Yeah, and if we want to have them like head movements and shit, like if we all had character animator, we could all move our head around and talk, and the webcam would pick it up and automatically map it to the character. So it'd be like it'd be like making a video essentially. But
I don't know how this would be compatible. Because the Discord recording bot I'm looking at, it says this will generate a file for each recorded user with their ID as the file name. Files can be imported into your favorite audio software side by side, and everything should line up on the timeline perfectly.
oh wow, yeah, if it's at each individual track that they can record, that solves our entire issue. Because when I record you guys, I get all three of you as one track, and then I'm on one track. So we can either record individually on Audacity or something like that, and then send the files, and I can sync them. Or if this one does it for us, then that's like a billion times easier.
Ooh, I like.
But yeah, so what I can do is I can draw us all little characters. Have you guys ever seen the YouTube channel Nerd Soup?
No.
They're they're really big. They do like Game of Thrones reviews and shit. And they're like 4 bugs, and it's people sitting at a round table, but they have a video of them like talking and getting reactions and everything. But they're the bugs, so we don't have to record video. You know what I mean? Because that's pretty much the hardest part. And they're huge, like massive. So like we can just be cartoon characters.
Baited podcast,
What was that?
or it's something they're trying. The Baited podcast, I think they do that on YouTube. They have like the cartoon characters and they move their heads.
Yeah. So there you go. What do you guys think about that idea?
If
I like the
could
concept.
do it, I'll do it.
Like, because it all syncs, right?
Like I have Creative Cloud, so I could download the character animator on my end. But are you saying like we just all have our own, and then it cuts back and forth and just intercuts them all?
What would happen is
we edit all that video.
Yeah, so there's a couple ways we could do this. Like either we could just do like a regular Skype call where everyone's webcams are in the corner. On OBS, I record each of the individual sectors to its own thing, put that in Premiere, track the faces in Premiere, and then use that tracking software to overlay on the character animation itself in Character Animator, and then assemble back in Premiere. Or if we all did it individually, we just live record audio and video to Character Animator that'll live draw it for us, and then I just mix those files together. So I can put us on like different sets or like walking around or shit like that.
Sounds like a lot of
How
work.
much extra work would this be, though?
Well, that's the thing. If we did
Also, please remember I have a Mac.
well, there's that.
Well, Adobe
anything on a
works
Mac.
fine on a Mac as long as it's not an old piece of shit.
Which because it's a Mac. But I like a Mac, but not for anything that's like game.
No, Macs are not gaming PCs.
Macs are not
But
anything
for
good.
writing,
Yeah,
writing
because
and-
their keyboards are so much better. Get the fuck out of here.
writing.
You know who invented the word processor? Windows.
I don't think that's correct.
Microsoft.
I don't think that's correct.
That is
either.
correct.
I don't think they created the first word processor ever.
No, they never. No, they did create the first word processor because they patented the name word processor before they were called text editors. Learn your history.
Boobs. But also, fuck your
I don't
viruses.
think so. I think word processors were the name of actual computers. That's what they called them, word processors. They didn't actually. That's all it fucking did was process words.
That's all any computer does. Think about it.
I don't know, man. I feel like IBM probably created the first word processor.
I agree. It was definitely Microsoft because it fits this analogy.
Does it matter? Who cares? Why are we arguing?
It's for the
You guys hear
analogy.
that
That's why we're
That's what
arguing
Fujitsu-
for it.
Okay.
Did you hear that Fujitsu bought Xerox today? That's important, right? Everybody wanted to know that.
Whoa, blast
What's
from
a
the past.
Xerox?
Yeah.
The
Next year-
fuck's a Xerox?
Are they also doing a
Have you
Full
ever
House
heard
and
of
Family Matters
xerography?
crossover?
Is that like when you have sex with aliens?
Yeah, a Xerox is when they rock your world through your Z hole.
Sorry, that's xenuography.
Okay. Here's
Xerox
a real
is
choice.
Xenu's fucking gamer tag on Battlefield. Oh man.
God.
But yeah, we should look into this character creator thing. We'll see how complicated it is.
Yeah.
But I think because having a static image is one thing, but having a real video component can really attract a bigger audience. Because that's what the kids want these days.
Very true.
All right. So now that that's fixed, and we've got, is there anything else anyone wants to talk about? Oh wait, let's go back to your fucking ketogenic diet, you homo. So you can't eat cum. What else can you eat?
What else can I? Well, it's basically what I was eating before when I was cutting. It's just chicken and salad, but now with a whole shitload of like avocado and coconut oil, and I drink bulletproof coffees, which is
Just say
like butter.
bulletproof coffee.
That is correct. Yes, bulletproof coffee.
It's
So
actually
that's-
pretty good. Bulletproof.
So
coffee.
it's butter, MCT oil, and then I'll add some heavy cream, and just you basically put a cup of coffee in that, and you blend it, and it's basically like a latte except for really thick as shit. And you're basically making your body adjust from running off of glucose to running off of ketones. And I've been doing it for almost 3 weeks now. And I measure my ketones with this device called a Ketonix, and I blow into it. It's a breathalyzer, and it tests my acetone levels. And basically, it lets me know whether I'm in ketosis or not. And
Yeah, it doesn't, but that's cute that you think it does. So this is the diet that I lost 100 pounds on about, what was this, 4 or 5 years ago?
I remember I was there for it.
Yeah, you were
I didn't
there
know that
for
you were
it.
doing a keto.
It was keto, yeah. It was just, it was before it was a big craze. So this was recommended to me. Like I was taking a bunch of medication and I was like ballooning up a lot. And I was recommended this by a doctor who's like, hey, you're like from the forest, right? And I'm like, yeah, kinda. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'd probably call it a jungle. But whatever.
Racist.
Yeah. He's like, you're one of those woods people, right? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, well, your body doesn't process carbs the same way that we do. So we're going to put you on ketogenic diet and see how it works for you. And I was like, okay. And then I lost 100 pounds and felt real fucking good. Then I went back to eating bread and I felt like garbage. Now I'm back to not eating bread and I feel great again. But yeah, it's a lot more than not eating bread. Those, my doctor told me that those, like, because I had to go do this through a registered dietitian and shit through the hospital. And yeah, because that was that fat. And they were like, those breathalyzer things don't work. Just get your blood tested.
Well, you can test your blood and see how many millimolars of beta hydroxybutyrate are actually in your blood. But if you want to just like roughly test,
it's like a heart rate monitor on a watch. It's not super accurate, but it gets the job done.
Exactly, and that's why I did it, because honestly, I just didn't want to be like stabbing myself every day to check my blood. And this is a good
pee-pee.
Oh, you can pee on the urine sticks, but that only works for the first few weeks. But once you become like keto adapted, once you're fat adapted and your body's burning ketones for energy, what happens is your urine, which would be where your excess ketones go out of your body, you're only doing that when your body isn't using the ketones for energy. So once you start breaking your ketones down into ATP, you don't actually urinate out ketones as much anymore. So it doesn't look like you are in ketosis anymore. So you have to sort of like look at that first time frame of about 3 weeks while you're adapting to your body running off fat as its preferred fuel, and then the urine sticks will work out fine. But then after that, they're kind of useless. Yeah. So either way, like I've been going pretty strong for like I was doing intermittent fasting starting the end of last year, and now I've started doing the whole ketosis thing. And basically, like if I go back, it's 2 years now, but like I'm down to 150, and I was at my top, I was 190. So I've come a long way, and now I'm bulking actually. So I'm doing like, you have to kind of do a good balance of adding a bunch more protein, but I train at the gym 3 days a week and basically doing certain like carb loading type things where you do like a ketogenic diet, but then on certain days you carb load. It gets a little more complicated, but if you want to get the most amount of strength when you're in the gym, you want to replenish your glycogen stores in your muscle. And the only way you can do that is either with excess protein or with adding some extra carbs. So I'm still dialing in that aspects of it, but I would say that I feel a million times better than I did when I was eating refined carbohydrates and sugar. And I don't care what diet someone's on. If they cut out those two things, sugar and refined carbohydrates, they're going to be doing a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, and remember, ketogenesis isn't for everyone, though. This diet is pretty specific. Like
no, you can be doing paleo or eating clean or just eating a good, healthy diet. So basically, refined carbohydrates are aiming
low carb.
Low carb is good too. Refined carbohydrates is basically flour.
Yeah, so but there are certain people that can eat just all the flour they want and have a pretty balanced gut biota.
Everybody has a different tolerance for the amount of carbs that they can consume and the amount of insulin that their body can handle. So basically, everyone has insulin responses to the food that they eat, and some people are more insulin resistant than others, and it changes depending on what their previous diet was, what their age is. There's a wide variety of factors, and if you want to live optimally, some of the studies that I've seen on longevity now are showing that you want to sort of have a baseline blood glucose level at 85 with plus minus 15 after you've eaten food. So if you can stay around 85, then you can just figure out what you can tolerate from a carb standpoint. And also, again, it is important about what types of, like, it's not to say carbs are bad. Fucking vegetables are carbs. Eat all the vegetables and kale you want. But when it comes down to, it's basically just don't eat shit.
That's not entirely true though either, because they do
potato.
Like the way that they put me on
whole wheat and multigrain
when I was cutting was it was 7 grams of protein and 14 grams of vegetables, but they can't be carby vegetables.
Well, yeah, but you don't want to, like, potatoes and corn. Like really starchy vegetables. Corn are not
sweet potato is good for you, though.
Spike your insulin. Yeah, sweet potato. I'll eat that when I'm going to carb load before I go to the gym, right? Because it's going to give me that extra pump.
Sweet potato and cottage cheese, buddy.
But the thing is, when it comes to, it depends on what you're doing it for. Like, are you trying to lose weight? Then you don't want to have an insulin response. If you spike your insulin basically clears your bloodstream of triglycerides and ketones and says use the glucose for energy. But if you have excess glucose, it goes to your liver, turns into triglycerides and gets stored as fat. Insulin is what causes that reaction to happen. Okay, so basically, if you can stop that insulin from spiking like that, then your body will not hold on to that glucose as fat.
I agree. This is very boring. So let's make a challenge. First person to six pack. First person to a 6-pack gets fuck the other guy.
6-pack of beer or
What?
6 packs of abs?
6 packs of
I need to be
abs.
clear on that.
No. So like fucking in the ass or like putting the penis inside the other penis?
I was thinking we do a bit more like we're classy people here. I want to do it like hyenas.
I'm out. I don't mind
Like
losing.
female
I'm okay to
hyenas.
not
Wait,
win.
guys,
It's all right.
hear me out.
Wait, you don't want my penis?
Yeah, her dick is beautiful. Here's what we do. So like
That was just a
hyenas,
large clitoris.
we dress exactly.
No, it's a full-on penis.
We dress up like female
clarifying.
hyenas. We and female hyenas can have a thing called an engorged clitoris, as mentioned, and they can get up to 16 inches long. True story. And then they mount the males and slap their balls with it. So that's what we'll do, because I don't want to do anything gay, because I still want to get into heaven. And I know that, I mean, obviously I'm going to win.
It's okay because heaven doesn't exist.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Well, now you're not worried about losing this, then. You're fine with this.
He's killing it.
Tell me more about these hyenas.
All right, that's all for this week's Uncut. I don't know what the fuck was happening in this, but I feel like it went well, and I love you all. And
Welcome back, bitches.
Welcome back. You guys are all dirty motherfuckers. Until next time, we remain sucking each other's dicks.